breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? At least that's what you've been told your entire life. Your parents said it, your teachers repeated it, commercials drilled it into your head every morning before school. Start your day with a bowl of cereal, a glass of orange juice, maybe a low-fat yogurt if you're health conscious, and you're set. That's what they told you. But what if I told you this exact breakfast, the one you've been convinced is good for you, is the very thing keeping you stuck? What if I told you it's the reason you're constantly hungry, the reason your cravings spiral out of control, the reason you can't burn fat no matter how much you try? That healthy breakfast is not setting you up for success. It's setting you up for failure. Think about it. Have you ever wondered why, after a so-called balanced breakfast, you feel tired by mid-morning? Desperate for another snack, maybe even another cup of coffee just to push through. You might blame yourself thinking you don't have enough willpower, or maybe your metabolism is broken. But it's not you, it's the food. These processed cereals, oatmeal packets, fruit juices, granola bars, they're engineered to give you a quick sugar rush and then drop you right back down, leaving you hungrier than before. It's not your fault you believed this was the right way to start your day. You were lied to by billion-dollar food companies, by outdated nutrition guidelines, by marketing that doesn't care about your health, only your wallet. And here's the truth that's been hidden from you: when you fuel your body with the right kind of foods in the morning, you unlock fat burning instead of fat storage. You create steady energy instead of a crash. You control your hunger instead of being controlled by it. This is not about skipping breakfast or starving yourself. It's about choosing foods that work with your metabolism instead of against it. You've been told your whole life that those colorful boxes of cereal and those heart-healthy packets of instant oats are the smart choice. But they are the very reason your body is storing fat instead of burning it. In this lesson, I'm going to show you exactly which foods to stop eating, why they've been keeping you fat, and how to replace them with real, nourishing options that give you energy, mental clarity, and the ability to finally lose the stubborn fat that nothing else has touched. This isn't about restriction. It's not about dieting in the traditional sense. It's about freedom, freedom from cravings, freedom from energy crashes, freedom from the cycle of guilt and frustration every time you step on the scale. Once you understand the truth about breakfast, you'll never look at those so-called healthy staples the same way again. And once you make this one shift, you'll see how powerful your body becomes at doing what it's designed to do: burn fat, heal itself, and give you energy that lasts all day. For decades, we've been taught to believe that the perfect way to start the day is with a bowl of cereal, maybe some instant oatmeal, a glass of orange juice, or a cup of low-fat yogurt topped with granola. These foods are displayed on magazine covers, advertised during every morning show, and endorsed by government guidelines that told us to load up on grains and keep fat to a minimum. If you walk down the breakfast aisle in the grocery store, you'll see words like heart healthy, whole grain, low fat, and fortified with vitamins. The message is clear. These are supposed to be the right choices, the responsible choices, the foods that smart people eat to care for their health and waistline. But here's the truth no one ever told you. These so-called healthy breakfasts are nothing more than cleverly disguised sugar bombs. That glass of orange juice that looks so refreshing, it has as much sugar as a can of soda. That flavored yogurt you thought was a lighter option, it's often loaded with sweeteners, sometimes more sugar than ice cream. The granola that gets marketed as natural and wholesome. One cup can easily pack more carbs than a candy bar. Even plain oatmeal, once it's processed and stripped of fiber, spikes your blood sugar like eating straight sugar. These foods don't set you up for a productive day. They set you up for a crash. It's not your fault you believed in these foods. You've been lied to by massive marketing campaigns that plastered cartoon characters on cereal boxes and convinced parents that pouring milk over frosted flakes was part of a balanced breakfast. You were misled by food companies that added synthetic vitamins back into stripped-down grains just so they could stamp "fortified" on the label and make it sound healthy. You were told by outdated nutrition guidelines that fat is dangerous, cholesterol is the enemy, and sugar in moderation is fine. But look around, rates of obesity, diabetes, and metabolic disease have skyrocketed in the very decades when people were told to eat this way. Clearly, the advice isn't working. Think back to your own mornings. How many times have you eaten a bowl of cereal or grabbed a granola bar thinking you were making a smart choice, only to feel hungry again an hour later? How many times have you poured a big glass of orange juice, felt the quick burst of energy, and then crashed, needing coffee or another snack before lunch? This isn't lack of willpower. This isn't laziness. This is biology. These foods set you up for failure from the moment you wake up because they flood your system with sugar and carbs, spike your insulin, and then leave you on the other side of a crash, craving more sugar to bring you back up. The food industry knows exactly what it's doing. They create foods that light up the pleasure centers in your brain, give you a temporary high, and then leave you needing more. It's a business model, not a nutrition plan. And for years, we've all been caught in it. You may have tried diets, cut back on calories, or forced yourself to exercise more. But as long as you start your day with these fake foods, you're always fighting an uphill battle. It's time to look at breakfast differently. It's time to stop letting companies and guidelines that don't care about your long-term health dictate what you eat first thing in the morning. When you understand the truth about these foods, you can finally break free from the cycle. And once you do, you'll realize you were never the problem. It was the food. Now let's see what these so-called healthy breakfast staples are actually doing inside your body within minutes of eating them. The moment you take that first spoonful of cereal or sip that glass of orange juice, something powerful happens inside your body. Those foods are loaded with sugars and refined carbs that break down almost instantly once they hit your digestive system. Your blood sugar shoots up quickly, almost like flipping a switch. At first, it feels good. You get that burst of energy, your brain feels awake, and you're ready to start the day. But what goes up must come down, and this quick surge sets the stage for a crash you can't avoid. Your body responds to that sugar rush by releasing insulin, a hormone designed to shuttle the sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. Think of insulin like the traffic cop of your metabolism. When sugar floods in, insulin works overtime to push into storage because high sugar levels are dangerous. But here's the problem. When there's too much sugar, insulin pushes it into fat cells. Your body is told, store this, don't burn it. So instead of burning fat for energy, your body is locked into fat storage mode from the moment you wake up. And then comes the crash. After insulin does its job and your blood sugar drops, you suddenly feel tired, unfocused, maybe even irritable. That's why you reach for a snack or another cup of coffee by mid-morning. It's not that you're weak or undisciplined. It's biology. Your body is begging for more quick fuel to get you back to that high. So you grab a muffin, a granola bar, or maybe another sugary drink, and the cycle repeats. Up, down, up, down. This blood sugar roller coaster keeps you stuck all day long. Think of it like pouring gasoline on a fire every morning. At first, the flames shoot up and burn bright. But because gasoline burns so fast, the fire quickly dies down and you're left with smoke and ashes. So you add more gasoline, and the same thing happens again. That's exactly what happens when you start your day with sugar and refined carbs. You get a quick burn followed by a crash, and you're left needing more. Meanwhile, your body never gets the chance to tap into the steady fuel source it was designed to use, fat. This roller coaster doesn't just affect your waistline, it affects your brain too. Ever notice how hard it is to concentrate after a big carb-heavy breakfast? That mid-morning brain fog? The inability to focus in meetings or on tasks isn't random. It's the direct result of your blood sugar swinging up and down. Your brain needs stable energy to think clearly, and when you fuel it with sugar spikes, you're guaranteeing mental fatigue along with physical cravings. Over time, this daily roller coaster trains your body to depend on sugar. The more often you ride it, the harder it becomes to get off. Insulin is constantly elevated, locking fat inside your cells, and you feel like you have to eat every couple of hours just to stay afloat. That's why so many people struggle to lose weight even when they cut calories. As long as they start their day this way, their hormones are telling their body to store fat, not burn it. But here's the truth, your body isn't broken. It's not failing you. It's just being fueled the wrong way. When you stop throwing gasoline on the fire and start giving your body the slow, steady energy it was designed to use, everything changes. You unlock fat burning, you get rid of the brain fog, and you finally feel what it's like to have stable energy that lasts for hours without constant snacking. Let's take a step back and look at what's really going on when you eat that so-called healthy breakfast. The key player here is insulin. Insulin is a hormone your body makes to deal with sugar in your blood. Think of it like a storage signal. When insulin goes up, your body is told to store energy, not burn it. That means the moment you flood your system with carbs first thing in the morning, you've switched on fat storage mode. It doesn't matter how many calories you cut later or how hard you push yourself in the gym. If your insulin is high from the start of the day, your body is primed to hold on to fat instead of using it for fuel. This is why morning carbs are such a problem. Your metabolism is like a fire. You can fuel it with slow burning logs, or you can throw in paper and gasoline. Those refined carbs and sugars of the paper and gasoline, they flare up quickly, give you a burst, and then burn out, leaving you scrambling for more. Over time, constantly starting your day with this kind of fuel slows your metabolism down. Your body adapts by becoming less efficient at burning fat because it's being trained to rely on sugar. That's why so many people feel stuck. They're eating foods labeled as healthy, but those foods are quietly rewiring their metabolism to become dependent on quick carbs instead of tapping into the abundant energy stored in body fat. And then there's the low-fat myth. For decades, we've been told fat is dangerous. Fat clogs your arteries, fat makes you fat, fat is the enemy. So the food industry responded by removing fat from yogurt, from milk, from countless products, and slapping low fat on the label. But here's what really happens when you take fat out of food. You remove the very thing that keeps you satisfied. Fat is satiating. It tells your brain you're full. It helps you stay fueled for hours. When you strip it out, the food tastes terrible, so manufacturers pump it full of sugar and artificial flavors to make it palatable. You end up with a product that spikes your blood sugar, leaves you hungrier, and drives you to eat more. That's why a cup of low-fat yogurt rarely fills you up, and why you're hungry again not long after finishing it. Science has never truly supported the fear of natural fats like eggs, butter, or avocado. In fact, study after study shows that diets higher in healthy fats and proteins lead to better satiety, less snacking, and more stable energy, yet many people are still terrified of eating fat because of decades of bad advice. The irony is that avoiding fat has made people fatter and sicker. It's not fat that's the problem, it's the processed carbs and sugars we were told to eat instead. Your body is not broken. It's actually designed to be a fat-burning machine. Every cell in your body can use fat as a steady, reliable fuel source when you feed it correctly. When you give your body protein and healthy fats in the morning, insulin stays low, fat burning stays switched on, and energy becomes stable. You stop riding the roller coaster of sugar spikes and crashes. Instead, you tap into the long-lasting energy you already have stored, and you feel focused, clear, and satisfied for hours. Now that you understand why those so-called healthy breakfasts keep you trapped, let's flip the script and look at what happens when you start your morning with real food. The solution isn't complicated, it doesn't require counting calories, and it certainly doesn't require starving yourself. It's about choosing foods that work with your metabolism instead of against it. That means starting your day with high-quality protein and healthy fats. Imagine instead of pouring a bowl of cereal, you crack a few pasture-raised eggs into a skillet, maybe add some avocado on the side, and top it with a little smoked salmon or leftover steak from dinner. These are whole, unprocessed foods packed with nutrients that your body actually knows how to use. Protein helps build and repair tissues, but more importantly for your morning, it signals satiety to your brain so you feel full. Healthy fats provide a steady fuel that doesn't cause blood sugar spikes and crashes. Together, protein and fat set the stage for hours of stable energy. Compare this to the roller coaster you get with cereal and juice. With the traditional breakfast, you're hungry by mid-morning, reaching for a snack, and struggling to stay focused. But with a protein and fat breakfast, you feel calm, clear, and energized. There's no crash, no urgent cravings, and no need to snack every couple of hours. Your brain feels sharp, your mood feels steady, and your body stays in fat-burning mode instead of being pushed into fat storage. It's a completely different experience, and the difference is noticeable within just a few days. I remember working with a client named Sarah who had struggled with her weight for years. She told me she did everything right. According to the mainstream advice, low-fat yogurt with granola for breakfast, a piece of fruit mid-morning, and then a salad with fat-free dressing for lunch. By the afternoon, she was exhausted, craving sugar, and by dinner, she would be so hungry that she overate. She blamed herself, thinking she just lacked willpower. When she switched her breakfast, everything changed. Instead of yogurt and granola, she started eating 3 scrambled eggs with some avocado and a side of sausage. At first, she was nervous about eating that much fat, but within the first week, she noticed her energy was steady all morning. She wasn't thinking about food until lunch, and her sugar cravings practically disappeared. Within a month, she had dropped weight effortlessly, not because she was restricting calories, but because her hormones were finally working with her, not against her. This is what happens when you feed your body what it actually needs. Eggs, avocado, grass-fed meats, wild-caught salmon, cheese, even something as simple as leftover steak or chicken from last night's dinner. All of these options keep insulin low, keep you satisfied, and unlock fat burning. They also deliver vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats that support your brain and hormones in ways cereal and juice never could. Once you experience the difference in how you feel, it becomes obvious that the old way of eating breakfast was never serving you. The best part is that this doesn't require perfection. You don't have to get fancy, and you don't need complicated recipes. Just think in terms of real food. If it once had a face or grew naturally, it's a better choice than something that came from a box with a long ingredient list. When you start your day this way, your entire body shifts gears. You stop storing fat and start burning it. You stop craving sugar and start feeling satisfied. And you stop relying on constant snacks just to function. When you change the way you start your morning, the ripple effect reaches far beyond just the first few hours of the day. That first meal sets the tone for everything that follows. When you begin with protein and healthy fats instead of sugar and processed carbs, you give your body a completely different set of instructions. Instead of spiking insulin and locking yourself into fat storage mode, you keep insulin low and steady, which signals your body to tap into its fat reserves for energy. That simple shift changes how you feel mentally, physically, and emotionally throughout the day. The most immediate difference is in your focus. Your brain thrives on stable energy, and when you're not riding the blood sugar roller coaster, you notice your thoughts are clearer and sharper. You're no longer sitting at your desk mid-morning fighting to stay awake or trying to push through brain fog. Instead, your energy feels steady, you're more productive, and you're not distracted by constant hunger or cravings. That alone can transform your workday, your ability to stay present, and your sense of control over your own time. Another ripple is how your hunger patterns change. Instead of feeling like you need to eat every 2 or 3 hours, You'll notice you can go longer between meals without feeling deprived. When you eat protein and fat for breakfast, your body actually registers that you've been nourished. That sense of satisfaction means you're not constantly thinking about your next snack, and you're not stuck battling cravings that feel stronger than your willpower. Food stops being an obsession and becomes what it's supposed to be, fuel. Because your hunger is under control, you naturally cut down on snacking. Think about how much time and mental energy gets wasted every day on trying to manage cravings or resist the vending machine. When you start your day with real food, those battles disappear. You're not fighting your biology anymore. Instead, your hormones are aligned with your goals. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, stays quiet. Leptin, your satiety hormone, can actually do its job and tell your brain you're full. And insulin, the fat storage hormone, stays low enough for your body to start burning fat for energy instead of constantly hoarding it. This is where fat burning really kicks in. Every time you skip the sugary breakfast and choose protein and fat, you reinforce your body's ability to use fat as fuel. Over time, your metabolism becomes more flexible, which means you can go hours without eating and still feel good, because your body has learned to burn its own stored energy. That's the freedom so many people are chasing but can't find when they're locked into the carb cycle. The moment you change breakfast, you begin to unlock it. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about losing weight or cutting cravings. When you change breakfast, you change your metabolism, your hormones, and your future health. You lower your risk of type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and insulin resistance. You reduce inflammation that drives chronic disease. You protect your brain by giving it stable energy and the fats it needs to function well. The effects of this one decision ripple out into every area of your life, from how you perform at work to how much energy you have for your family, to how you feel about yourself when you wake up in the morning. It's empowering when you realize you don't have to be at the mercy of the food industry anymore. You don't have to keep falling for marketing slogans, government guidelines, or boxes of processed foods that claim to be healthy. You are in control. You get to decide what you put in your body and how you fuel your day. And when you take that control back, everything changes. Let's put all this together so you can take action starting tomorrow morning. You've now seen the truth about the so-called healthy breakfast foods we've been told to eat for years. Cereal, oatmeal, granola, orange juice, and low-fat yogurt aren't giving you energy or helping you slim down. They're flooding your body with sugar, spiking your insulin, and locking you into fat storage mode before your day has even begun. That's why you crash by mid-morning. That's why you're constantly craving snacks. And that's why it feels impossible to lose weight even when you're cutting calories or exercising more. It's not your fault you believe these foods were good for you. It's the message that was sold to you over and over again by marketing campaigns and outdated nutrition advice. Now you know the real problem, and you also know the solution. Avoid sugar and refined carbs first thing in the morning. Skip the juice, skip the cereal, skip the granola bars. Instead, choose protein and healthy fats that keep your insulin low, your hunger controlled, and your metabolism firing the way it was designed to. Eggs, avocado, salmon, grass-fed meats, even something as simple as last night's leftovers. These foods give you steady energy, mental clarity, and the ability to burn fat instead of storing it. The difference is not subtle. Within just a few days of making this switch, you'll feel it. Your cravings calm down, your energy feels stable, and your brain fog begins to lift. You start noticing that food no longer controls you, you control it. And that's the most important point to take away. This isn't about restriction, it's not about punishment, and it's not about counting every calorie that goes into your mouth. This is about freedom. Freedom from the roller coaster of blood sugar crashes, freedom from the constant cycle of hunger and guilt, freedom from the frustration of trying everything and never seeing results. By making one change, the way you start your morning, you set yourself free from the chains of bad advice that have held you back for so long. So here's my challenge to you. Try it for just 7 days. Ditch the cereal, ditch the juice, ditch the low-fat yogurt that you thought was helping you. Replace them with protein and fat. Scramble some eggs, add some avocado, enjoy some bacon or leftover steak, and see what happens. Give your body real fuel for 1 week and watch the transformation. Notice how your cravings fade, how your focus improves, how your energy feels steady. Notice how your clothes begin to fit differently, not because you're starving yourself, but because your body is finally being allowed to do what it's designed to do. Burn fat. You are not broken. Your metabolism is not doomed. You have the power to heal it, and it begins with the choices you make every morning. Don't wait for the perfect time, don't overthink it, and don't let old beliefs keep you stuck. Start tomorrow. Make this one change and see for yourself how powerful your body can be when you fuel it the right way. Your future self will thank you, your health will thank you, and the freedom you've been chasing will finally be within your reach.